everyone. So today I am outside. I'm in Upper Austria in the countryside and I'm taking one of my evening walks. A lot of you commented and texted me reminding me that I hadn't made an English language video in quite a while, and you know, I was thinking that there's this one thing that I wanted to do for like over a year and I never got around to do it, which is talking a bit about my songs and how they came about, and some song facts maybe, what the lyrics are about and stuff. So I won't be able to cover all of them in this video because by now I have a couple of them. But I'm gonna try to cover like the basics. And yeah, because it's really warm and really nice, I thought I would do that outside. So I'm walking up here, like I'm walking up this path here, and you know, the sunset, I don't know if you can see this, you probably can't see this. The sky is totally pink and it's really nice, and the insects are really loud right now. But yeah, I'm going to tell you about some of my songs. Obviously, I'm going to cover the ones that you want to hear the most about probably, which are Boy and Stranger in Photographs. So I'm going to start with Boy. I had written music since I was like 7 or 8 years old, but I mostly wrote instrumentals for the piano. And Boy was actually the first song that I wrote that had lyrics and that had some sort of deeper meaning. I had just come out to my parents a couple of months before that, and they were just getting accustomed to the situation, and I was just getting accustomed to the situation. And I think it took me about an hour to write the entire song, all the lyrics, all the melodies, everything. And then it took me another hour to practice it, and then I just recorded it, just like that, you know, with the phone on my bed, resting against a pillow so it was standing up so I could film. And, you know, not very professionally recorded at all. My guitar skills, not very good. I still play this song on a rather regular basis because I practice all my songs so I don't forget them. And, you know, I've practiced this song for the past 3 years, and right now it sounds really cool. It sounds way, way better and much more skilled, especially the guitar playing, than it did when I recorded that video. And the only reason that I uploaded it to YouTube was actually that I would always record myself singing until the space on my phone was completely full. And then whenever I would go somewhere, like to a rock concert or on a vacation, and I wanted to take pictures, my phone would be full. So I would always just delete everything that was on it to be able to record again. And somehow I didn't want that to happen to that song, so I uploaded it to YouTube just to keep it and to know where it is, because if I put it on my hard drive, I probably would have never found it again because my computer's a mess. So if I hadn't uploaded that song to YouTube, I probably would have deleted it like a couple of weeks later, and I probably wouldn't remember how it goes now. So that was kind of lucky, and I did not expect it to go off the way it did. I didn't expect anyone to listen to it, and I mean, looking back now, in retrospective, it actually makes sense that a lot of people connect with this song, because I think the lyrics are pretty spot on about what you're going through when you're trans, mostly. But there is one thing about this song that I really, really want to clarify. I know there's a lot of people who love that song, but there's also a lot of people who are commenting and writing to me saying that it's kind of true scum in a way. Because, you know, it's talking about all those stereotypes, like it sounds like I'm a boy because I didn't want to be a princess, and I was climbing trees, and I was playing soccer and stuff like that. And I just want to clarify that that is not the real meaning of that song, to basically tell you you're only trans if you know, are the stereotypical trans kid. The thing is, I was like that, and at that point when I wrote that song, I was really at the start of my own transition. I was not an activist. I'd never done anything on YouTube that was trans related, and it was not my intention with this song to be an advocate for trans rights or anything like that. I was just basically writing this song for myself, never expecting anyone to listen to it, and I just wrote about my own experience. It's just biographical. And some people get that wrong and they kind of misinterpret it as being against non-binary people. I am really, really open-minded about any person that's in the trans community, any non-binary person, anyone who does not conform to gender roles. That song was strictly my own experience. That's the way it was for me. That doesn't mean that every trans person has the same experience, and to be honest, had I known that so many people would watch this and identify with this, I probably would have thought twice about it. But then again, you know, it's my song. I wrote it about myself. And to all of you out there who think that it's, yeah, it is stereotypical male, but that doesn't mean that I'm generally against non-binary people or think that anyone who is not stereotypical trans male is not trans. You're all trans enough, you know? Look at that, ain't that beautiful? So this is my hometown. If you've watched the Thoughts series, you have probably seen this before. This is actually a location where I shot a part of the Thoughts series. I just love the countryside. I have to show you this. So the next song we should probably talk about is Stranger in a Photograph, which is like the second most popular song that I have up on YouTube. And this actually came about, my therapist told me to write a song about my experience because in the early stage of my therapy sessions, I was going through this phase where I couldn't look at my old pictures. I couldn't look at myself the way I had looked when I was like between the age of 13 and 18 or 20. I just couldn't look at it because I was so awkward and dressed in such a weird way, and I looked very feminine, but I also looked very misplaced in that role. And I was so unhappy at that time that looking back at those pictures just, you know, gave me depression, because I would remember how I'd felt back then, and I would look at it and just feel like this is not the person I am, and this is not the person that I truly was inside. And yet still, that person lived my life at that point. And I kind of felt like this female role that was like pressed onto me from everyone around me had kind of stolen my life and my own experience, because I was experiencing things that were nice at the time. You know, I was going on nice vacations, and I was going to concerts, and I was doing fun things, but still I couldn't enjoy them as much as I would have had I experienced them being myself. That's basically where Stranger in a Photograph came from, because I was looking at those pictures and I really felt like that person that was me was a stranger to me. And maybe you've noticed that whenever I write a song, I do write about negative feelings and I do write about shit that I went through, but I always try to give it a positive ending, because I'm a strong believer of the fact that everything in life can be sorted out in a way. And no matter what you're going through, if you just keep pushing and if you just hold on, things will get better. And I think it's kind of in all of my songs. And with Stranger in a Photograph, that's the same thing with the bridge that I put in. Even though it hurts sometimes to look back on these days, I know they make me stronger in so many different ways. Looking back at that makes it so much more valuable to be able to be myself now. Sometimes bad stuff needs to happen for you to value the good things that will follow. So I can value being able to live as myself so much more because I've experienced the lack of being able to be myself. Most of you probably don't know that my favorite song, my favorite trans-related song that I wrote myself is actually Trans Pride Anthem. I can hear music up here. They're having a festival down in the village, and it's so loud you can even hear it up here. Yeah. Trans Pride Anthem is actually my favorite trans-related song that I wrote. And there's this line that's always repeating, but then the avalanche went down. There's this thing that I would always think and always say to people when they asked me about what it was like being trans. And I always said it felt like I was walking on this mountain and there was snow everywhere. And I took one wrong step and the snow just started falling down and became this avalanche that went downhill. And I was standing up there at the top of the mountain looking down at my house and my village and my life, and realizing that that avalanche that I had just started was going to hit my house and my life and take everything away. And being trans is kind of like that. The moment you realize that you're trans, it's so scary, because you're scared that you're going to lose everyone that you love, that your parents will not accept you, your family will not accept you, your friends will not accept you, you'll maybe lose your job. Your entire life is in danger, kind of, by that thing. And once you start your transition, and once you walk step by step through this thing, you realize that most of it is not as terrifying and not as bad as it looks in the beginning. Because, every problem can be solved, and there's going to be backlashes, but in the end, it's going to be okay. But right at the beginning, when you realize you're trans, it feels like your life is over. At least it did for me. I don't know if it does for everyone, but I felt like my life was over. It was like an avalanche, and that's why I put that line into that song. We're the ones that draw our strength from pain. We build our hopes on all the shattered pieces that remain of our lives, and that's kind of like what it feels like. And now you need to rebuild your life in the way that you want it to be, as the person that you truly are. And that's great, but it's still a lot of work. You still need to start from scratch in a lot of situations. Tearing everything down and rebuilding it in a different way, that's pretty tough. And that's something that you can be really proud of once you've achieved it. It's something that takes a lot of bravery, and it's something that will make you stronger as a person and more empathetic, and in the end, you'll have a lot of benefits from it. And that's kind of what Transparenthem is about. Yeah, it's getting really, really dark here, and I don't even know if you'll be able to see me in this video, or if it's just going to be some dark shadow thing. But if you like this video, just leave a comment below. I have some more songs that I can talk about in due time. And, every song that I write has some story behind it. Whoa. And before the light goes out completely, I wish you a happy weekend. Enjoy your time. Enjoy the summer while it's still there. Fall is going to come soon enough. We'll see each other soon. Until then, goodbye.